Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paris, as far as you know, and I am Metawoman. Once a divine being created this world, and he created woman to give a birth for all living things. The time has come, and we have learned how to create our own universe. The time has come, and a modern Eve appeared at the projection of a woman leaders. And as a Metawoman, I give a birth to all new ideas connecting technologies from the real to the virtual world. Why did the idea of a metaverse appear? Because one day the divine being had a thought. Today, with your thought, you can create your own universe. The rules of the game applies for everyone and are simple. You will ask me, Paris, what is the most important in a metaverse? I'll tell you, it's a thought and community. Why thought? Because this is how was created this world where we are right now. I just want to tell you that I also had fears. I was pushing myself to better my life. And I found that the most important at that time was dreaming. Any dream can come true. Your dream can come true. No dreams should be thrown away. If you work hard, you have passion, you believe in yourself, you can achieve everything in your life. Once in a while, learn to say, screw you to the world. You have every right to just stop thinking, worrying, looking over your shoulder, doubting, feeding, hurting, hoping for some easy way out, struggling, grabbing, confusing, itching, declining, mumbling, bumbling, grumbling, mumbling, strumbling, groping, bothering, rumbling, hovering, tumbling, grumbling, scrambling, slimmering, hitching, hatching, whining, howling, groaning, moaning, carping, nagging, nose-sticking, slow off, eyeball poking, finger pointing, long waiting, evil eyeing, spying, bootlicking, searching, slandering, fooling yourself that someone will do it instead of you. Just stop it and do it. And I believe that together we can change the world. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
One.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Paris. That was very inspiring.
Thank you, Olga.
Just to give you a little heads up on what we're going to talk about today. So basically, Metaverse created myriads of opportunities for artists around the world. And for that, I mean, it created a huge playground for digital artists. So for those people who were initially, in the digital realm. And secondly, it also disrupted the traditional music industry a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to hear, Paris, from you. Let me circle it back to you because you're an artist here. And can you tell us about your journey to becoming Metawoman and what initially inspired you to join the metaverse realm?
Sure. Music controlled by labels, and actually it costs a lot to produce and to distribute the record. And because of this, it doesn't allow artists like me to distribute the song. And it's very important that we will open up a distribution for the artists like me. And in the future, all musicians, artists will perform in a metaverse. And soon, I'm gonna perform in a metaverse too.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to also circle it back to Bernd. Can you please tell us a little bit more, maybe about how you've been engaged in the musical industry, and what's your, I don't know, it's coming from that on, about your engagement in the musical industry. So what's your journey, and how you've seen over the years digital world, maybe conquering the traditional music industry. And I'm gonna go back to that point that Paris made about the record labels being disrupted, right? And the right ownership, and the right ownership too. So, what's your thought on the digital disruption of the traditional music industry from where you're standing?
I mean, we are living in a world of change, and when I did my first hit, when I was 23 years old, there were only when I was 23 years old, there were only normal sound carriers, vinyl, CDs, and so available, and nobody believed in this digital world. Everybody said, "No, this is nonsense. Nothing will happen." And then it became so huge now. And I mean, Apple iTunes was a game changer, and nobody believed in this. And then Spotify now, and everything of this digital world. I mean, if you see now that the record labels had a really hard 10 years now, but now they are growing and growing because they have the rights of the licenses, and they have the catalogs, and now they have new distribution formats. And I see it the same now with the metaverse. I mean, you're free now to create your own stuff. You can be famous in the normal world. You can be famous in the metaverse. If you take a look to Steve Aoki, a good friend of mine, a DJ, world-known DJ, he said he makes no more money in the metaverse with NFTs and so on as in his normal business. And so there's a big change in it. There's a big opportunity, but we are now at the start point. So it's really important that we take this chance now. Otherwise, maybe the big record labels will go in this as well.
Thank you. Juwan, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you've been involved in the industry, in the music industry?
So my journey is very strange because I am really known as an investor, and my involvement in the blockchain space for the last 8 years. So about 3-4 years ago, I started partnering with one of the most, prolific media moguls in Hollywood. So we started producing artists. He's very famous, and I was just helping him on the finance side, but I really got to understand the music industry and how difficult it was for artists to make it. And you have to understand the years of where, like, Mariah Carey gets sponsored by Sony. Those development deals don't really take place much anymore. You really have to already prove yourself on social media. You have to have a following. You have to prove yourself to a point that you're commercially viable, or already have certain videos and music in place. And that's when the art or the music labels start to take notice to you, because they don't want to take risk. Why do you have to take a new artist and spend all the money that you need when you can just work with already successful artists? So this is a problem that we have in the music industry. Music industry is it's label centric, and they control everything with the contract in the beginning. Eventually, if you become so big, it turns the other way, but vast majority of artists don't have that control in the beginning. It's also very expensive to produce, video, music, then promote it. So the rule of thumb is that you listen to somebody, they sound talented, you think they have promise, and you'll pass as a music label, because you're not going to be willing to spend $500,000 on them to produce them, unless they already have a following. And that's really a very important part of this. So what I find very interesting is that when you start to change the dynamics of the industry, where you take the power away from the labels and empower the artists, that is a game-changing element that's taking place now. And in a way, to your point, what I see is that the music labels are on their back feet right now. They're not actually moving forward as fast as they can be in what's happening in the metaverse and also in the NFT market.
So it looks a lot like, let's say, decentralized finance, when you take out middlemen, right? And you connect, in this case, an artist and its audience directly, right? With no middlemen. Okay, so if record labels are behind on this, then who's going to spearhead this? Who's going to take an artist into the metaverse?
Me?
You also. Yeah, it works.
Look, I think that's important. There's a lot of new startups that are being, funded now in the music industry. So we saw artists painting things of that nature, kind of the first evolution of the NFT market. But now what we're seeing is music becoming a very large category in the media entertainment part of the development of the NFT market, as well as the metaverse. So classically, you sold your record, your music, but with the NFT market, you can put many more things to it. So the artist has many more things about themselves you may not know. They may be painting, they may be doing other things related to their life. So you can build a whole composition around that artist, create NFTs, and then allow that NFT to be sold, because fans want more and more exposure to artists, and they may not just like them for the music, but other things about themselves.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is we are talking only about record labels, but we have to talk about this live experience of music, you know. So, and this is a really big advantage of the metaverse as well, because now you're able to perform in thousands of avatars, maybe. And, you know, I guess we human beings need to understand that we need to touch our seven senses by real stuff. This is the reason why festivals or why concerts are really blown up and getting bigger and bigger, because whenever you see something in the digital world, you want to have a live experience, and you will pay for it. But you can bring this, bridge them to the digital world very easy if you have a physical experience with it. So once you have been on a concert and you listen to some songs or you listen to some superstars, then it's very easy to go in the metaverse. And in the metaverse, you can do some great promotion, marketing for newcomers as well, because there you can add something. So, I mean, it's always the same. Get the physical attraction, you will have the digital attraction, or get the digital attraction and try to go through the physical attraction. So everything belongs together, like we did in the beginning of our speech. So there is a metaverse and there's a real space coming together, and then you can create whatever you want.
Okay, from a really practical point of view, how does a metaverse concert look like? I don't know if anyone has ever attended a metaverse concert. Anyone? Bernd, Juwan, can you enlighten us? What is it? How does it look like?
Well, I'm going to give a plug maybe. So like my friends at PAX World are creating a metaverse, and really what they have is the ultimate kind of Zoom experience with a lot of engagement, but then also at that same time, that interaction can be that you will have a concert right inside their metaverse. And what you saw, by the way, when you saw the Paris video today for Together, They created the avatar for Paris and was trying to show everyone how a metaverse concert would look like. But of course, you would also be as an avatar in there. You would be able to come and talk to other people that are attending. You could even probably tap the shoulder of the artist. And so you can imagine all the things can happen when you're inside the metaverse. You couldn't do in real life because you wouldn't be able to access all of these people. There would be much more one-to-many, one-to-one, and also with people you would never have access with.
Bernd, the Metaverse concert.
Metaverse has a great opportunity that you can, do parts of an artist and can share it in different ways. Because if you take a schedule to David Guetta and he is performing nearly every day somewhere, so it comes to an end, and now you are able to bring him maybe from the hotel room, and you can bring him into the metaverse and can perform in different places. So this is a big advantage. But I have to say the sound here is not so good, so I don't understand the questions really well. So maybe we can talk. So you can ask a question now, and then I can answer it. It's the same with her. She doesn't understand.
Can I ask a question to Bernd?
Sure.
Bernd, you work with some of the most famous artists in the world, like David Guetta. How would David Guetta use the metaverse?
I guess he will not explain me the secrets, what he's doing. I guess every artist now, when you hear around like Martin Garrix, like Black Eyed Peas, everybody now is getting freaked out about this NFTs, about the metaverse and so on, and everybody is now creating something. I guess we can have in the next couple of months a lot of new stuff coming from even Hollywood studios, Bollywood studios. Everybody is working on this, yeah? And I guess it can really explode, like the digital world with MP3s, like with iTunes and so on, has started 15 years ago. And there will be a lot of opportunities. What you mentioned, you cannot only see an artist on stage, so you can feel him, you can be close to him, you can have something private. And if the mass will understand what NFT, the real meaning of NFTs are, that this is something personal. Because I had this discussion with somebody and says, NFT, I can make a copy of this song and that's it. And I told him, yeah, but you can make a copy of Picasso, and put it in the room, but it's not the original. It's because of the original. And this is what happens now. And if the understanding of the mass will be in the same way, like Apple established this with iTunes and so on, we will have a super spreader.
I think it's also a question of us getting used to using actual virtual tools, because all in all, it's all about hardware, right? And software. Okay. So now that we discussed benefits, why don't we talk about challenges for the music industry? What digitization brings? Does it bring any challenges there? Does metaverse, is it expensive? Does it require any sophisticated software? What are the challenges and problems here?
Like every time, if you create something new, it's super expensive, and if the mass is following, it gets cheaper and it gets more attractive for the people. So, the next steps are that there may be some people. Why does Mark Zuckerberg call his Facebook now Meta? And why things happen now in the world, which shows you directly there are big people working on this. And I believe that maybe everybody can share some little parts of it, or can rent some space in the metaverse or so on. So, but for developing now, it's really expensive. And so we need these creative people, this financial stuff, to create a fundament of metaverse. But this is a challenge, but it's great because you're all here pioneers of something new, what you can establish, and you can create your own world beside the physical world. And it costs a lot of money, it costs a lot of power, but I guess it will explode.
I think one of the challenges is how do you split the wealth? I mean, if you look at the traditional model, you have the artist, you have the writer, you have the label, and in many cases, many writers. So that you generally have a platform, which is a society, as when you create a song, like ASCAP will distribute the royalties to people. So there's a process in place for distribution. Of course, there's always a bit dispute who gets what percentages. So now with the metaverse, when you start to monetize, what's the split? Who's getting what? Is the platform going to get something because there's no music label. It's really artists and how they want to represent themselves, and they're not really maybe being managed anymore, or they're self-managing, so the kind of the business model or business of how it's executed changes, and how the royalties get distributed, and also when you perform, what's the split, and there's a lot of different things that need to be sorted out. And it's something that will challenge the music industry, because ultimately the revenue driving force behind it is why it keeps on moving forward. And also the other challenge will be that at some point the large labels will come in with a solution. And how does that end up disrupting the disruptors? So that's something to consider in the future.
Paris, do you see any problems and challenges in the industry as an artist, as a person? Do you see any problems and challenges for artists to be engaged into this industry? What does it take for artists to be in the metaverse, and is it challenging?
Yeah. So the music industry changed dramatically, and it will never be the same. And nowadays, I think that it's more easy to create a song and distribute it than before. So we are on the right way, and in metaverse there is no boundaries. We are all together connected.
Do you see the emergence of metaverse record labels?
If I see what?
The emergence of metaverse record labels. Not the offline record labels transitioning into metaverse, but their own based metaverse record labels.
Yeah, I mean, you need now explorers, you need now pioneers. So, I mean, the big industry is always a little laid back, and if they see that it works, they will jump on the train. Yeah, so it was the same with the digital world, or with this MP3s, what I mentioned. So when Napster came in the year 2000 and did this sharing platforms, everybody was screaming, no, it cannot work, and so on. Now they find models, and they find models for the authors, for the artists, about the sharing models, and so on. Now everything is in the flow, and everybody earns the money who have to earn the money. It will be the same, I guess, here. So there will be a lot of labels, I guess, who will be experienced in the metaverse, and then the big record labels will come and will say, wow, and they will take the leaders of the metaverse into their construction because of offering a lot of money. So, and my wish would be if we could establish like an independent record label in the metaverse, which doesn't belong to these big companies, because it's always like it's an old fundament, it's an old thinking maybe of this big super companies. You've seen it with Amazon. Amazon didn't sold it to a big retailer. Amazon didn't sold it to Walmart and so on. Even they got big offers. They went through, and now see what happened now with this. So if we could create a record label in the metaverse with stuffed with money, stuffed with knowledge, and this is where you can find everywhere. So you can create a new major based on the metaverse. And this would be a great thing. Belongs to the other majors who will do the normal business.
What's your take on the metaverse?
I think when you look at the potential record labels, the word needs to be changed a little bit, because the type of producers of songs and will be gaming companies. So there'll be many different types of record label organizations. I think that word will be replaced with another word. But gaming companies doing GameFi will create a platform where artists will be placed on there, and then there will be players, and there'll be some type of play to earn, so that they can promote artists and their community. So the whole way that we need to look at is to remove the label of the label, and then start to talk about monetization. And monetization will be from many different angles. And I think that when we start to look at the gaming industry and GameFi, that will have a dramatic impact on the music industry, because there is a huge base of fans, and they want to get close to their artists. And because they want to get close to their artists, they're willing to support them by building their community. And by supporting their community, they're getting paid to do that. So this is a very nice model, and I think this is going to be very important in the future.
Thank you. One last question. Imagine a perfect metaverse concert of your favorite artist. Which artist would that be?
Say it again.
Which artist would that be? A perfect metaverse concert you would like to invite your friends to? Who's the artist?
You ask a promoter who would be the best thing. I would say I would build a World Club Dome in the metaverse. I would invite all the artists because, diversity. I would invite a lot of women, female DJs and so on. Not because of today, because of we try to find a relation with this as well. And to create something big that we can reach every taste, So if you have like a festival, so with different stages, with different worlds, what you can explore, then you will have the perfect concert festival in the metaverse.
What about you, Juwan?
Well, I would be very proud to one day see a very large metaverse concert for Paris. Yes, where
Thank you.
we introduced her to the metaverse community here. We've taken the first step, and then not using the traditional distribution channels, blow her up and see where that might go. So I would be very proud to see her in concert on the metaverse, and I hope you all will too.
She can perform at the World Club Dome as well, so we can create a
Yes, she will perform.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. See, already she's going to perform.
Yeah. Thank you so much. In a
Okay, thank you
metaverse
so-
without any boundaries.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. If anyone has any questions, by the way, I think we can take one or two questions now for the topic of music and metaverse. If not, please give it up for our esteemed panelists, Paris, Bernd, Breiter, Juwan Lee.
And
Thank you so much.
Olga. And Olga.
And myself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.